city. Attorneys are asking the judge to block federal immigration agents from using tear gas in Chicago after Bovino was seen using it last week to disperse crowds of protesters.
Okay, get ready for this. So recently, Chief Bovino of Border Patrol had to stand in front of a federal judge, and he did stand in front of a federal judge, and talk about why Border Patrol is using tear gas and other means for controlling protesters or rioters within Chicago during their operations.
Transport 1 will start getting swarmed over here. Please advise we are blocked in.
Now, in the middle of this court hearing, Homeland Security dropped all of the video evidence of protesters throwing rocks at federal agents, surrounding federal agents, destroying their vehicles in the middle of this hearing. And of course we're going to watch it, but I also want to show you guys, the federal judge wants Chief Bovino to show up every single day to talk about daily operations. So as you can see, we have a lot to cover. Now before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. Nowhere else in the United States are we seeing anything like this, and I need your help to get the word out, because this is rather interesting.
Yeah, we love you, Greg! Keep it up! Lock him 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 up! Lock him
Okay, so before we even get inside of the courtroom, Chief Bovino was quite literally surrounded by counter-protesters. Now, there is a little bit of irony behind this clip, because the reason why Chief Bovino is appearing in front of a federal judge, the judge wants to figure out whether or not Border Patrol agents are actually surrounded by protesters, and whether or not Border Patrol should be using tear gas. Because prosecutors want to ban tear gas outright. However, the federal judge actually said, I need to stay in my lane. In fact, this might shock some of you. The judge said, I know my lane, she said, and I will stay in my lane, but I'm also not afraid to enforce this TRO. If they are using tear gas, they better be able to back it up, and if they can't, then they will lose that as something they can use. Okay, so that was Chief Bovino leaving the courtroom and then going back to work. But the dialogue between the judge and Chief Bovino is rather interesting. Like, the judge actually requested, hey, Border Patrol, can you guys not use tear gas on Halloween? And the judge also requested that Bovino shows up every single day at 6 o'clock to let the judge know how operations went and what you guys did. And by the way, Chief Bovino actually agreed with the federal judge that by Friday, everyone should have body cameras belonging to Border Patrol. So Chief Bovino was generally compliant with this entire situation. It's not like he went into that courtroom looking for a fight. He listened to the judge, he said okay, and then he went back to work. However, like I said before, Border Patrol dropped their own video evidence to show the judge that Chief Bovino has always been compliant with this order to not use tear gas unless you give a warning. Now, before we get into this video, make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you up to date with stories like this. Watch and see how many different camera angles Border Patrol actually has. I was shocked.
Back up!
Do it! If you back up, that's good! I'm killing me!
So immediately upon doing their job, such as checking and seeing if somebody is an illegal immigrant, Border Patrol agents are immediately surrounded.
Call the guys so they could come, bro. All y'all daughters gonna get watch. They're about to come over here and ram the
Oh, they're gonna come deep, watch.
Right.
Mama, hey, bro, y'all better watch.
We have not even gotten to the part where protesters surround Chief Bovino and start throwing rocks at him. This is the part where protesters and bystanders are just saying, hey, more people are going to show up, get ready.
Yeah, don't be throwing us, bro.
Hey, Transport 1 will start getting swarmed over here. Please advise we are blocked in.
We bringing them bitches out. One off.
Roger that. We're standing by in the vehicle and have this QRS ready to go and get that van out of there.
Back up!
Okay, so at this point, the judicial order is supposed to be you have to give 2 warnings before you use tear gas. So how does that work if you're surrounded by tons of protesters who are about to start throwing rocks at you? We just heard one Border Patrol agent say, hey, back up. Does that count as a warning?
Back up! Back up!
There's 2. That was 3. So again, at this point, are you allowed to use tear gas? Again, this is why the Trump administration is even questioning this judicial order. It's almost not even possible to enforce or to do in real time if you're surrounded by all of these protesters.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up!
There seems to be a lot of warnings being thrown out. And again, I really want to harp on this. Everything the judicial order says all relies on whether or not there are proper warnings. The judge is not saying you can't use tear gas, but when you do use tear gas, they want evidence. The judge wants evidence that there was some sort of warning. And what we're seeing here, it looks like a warning.
Use riot control.
And there we go. This is Chief Bovino throwing that tear gas. So there you go. You have a rock being thrown at Bovino over here.
Push up. Push. Get off the street. 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 Back up.
And at this point, we even have an aerial view. Again, Border Patrol seems to have a lot more footage than we thought they did. Here is somebody just vandalizing a federal vehicle. So Border Patrol, I mean, they really dropped all of the evidence. Now, he just slashed a tire right there. Like, this is dangerous stuff. So, yeah, I mean, leave your comments down below how you feel about that. And here's the director of ICE talking about this situation with the judge and Border Patrol and Chief Bovino.
Are you confident that all these tactics will be following the law and will be necessary tactics to carry out this ICE mission?
Yes, Sandra, I am. And, one of the biggest things, obviously, you've seen are those over 1,000% assaults on DHS officers, not just ICE agents or Border Patrol agents, but even the men and women of the ATF, U.S. Marshals, and the FBI that are helping us. Myself and Chief Bovino, we were actually out in Los Angeles in the very beginning. We teamed up, put our efforts together. The laws were followed. We made sure the men and women about the Border Patrol, ICE, and everyone that was supporting us went home safe every night. But that's the key thing. Secretary Noem and the President want us to make sure that we are following the law, that we are removing people from the United States, getting rid of these public safety threats. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure the men and women of law enforcement go home safe every night.
This is a massive misconception when it comes to ICE and Border Patrol. There seems to be this assumption that, Border Patrol agents are totally immune. Now, the Trump administration, reason? Stephen Miller has said you are immune when you're doing your federal obligation and job. Everybody has that when you do a job within the federal government. Like if you're a judge and you do something within the scope of being a judge, you're not going to be arrested. The same goes for federal immunity when it comes to Border Patrol. It just turns out that many people are questioning, why is there so much tear gas being used in Chicago? And this is why we dig through all of the videos. It turns out there seems to be an uptick of protesters surrounding federal agents, so obviously, statistically speaking, we're going to see an uptick of anti-riot control tactics. So this is why a federal judge has summoned Gregory Bovino, Chief Bovino. I want to talk to you and figure out why are we seeing so much tear gas. But again, to the point of the ICE director, he has to follow the rules to a T to include the federal agents on the ground.
The Homeland Security Department released some data showing so far this year, more than 2 million illegal aliens have been deported. Nearly 600,000 captured within the United States and expelled. 1.6 million voluntarily deported, but the administration wants to pick up that pace.
Well, first of all, the numbers are accurate. I mean, by the end of this year, by the end of December, we'll have over 600,000 removals. I looked at the numbers this morning. We're at 554,000 deportation. If you extrapolate out for 12 months, this is historic, the biggest deportation operation that we've ever seen. And so the numbers speak for themselves. Most secure border in the history of the nation. As you said, record deportation operation. And let's not forget, we have found over 23,000 children.
Okay, so these numbers are very relevant to what we're talking about, considering if the Trump administration wants more deportations and we see missions like Operation Midway Blitz, we're probably going to see a lot more pushback on Border Patrol agents or ICE agents when they're out in the field. Again, I say this all the time, the amount of clips we are seeing coming out of Chicago is unheard of. I mean, we're talking about people filming their own TikToks. They're driving a car and then they're just following Homeland Security agents. We see this every single day. And just to be clear, on the flip side, this means we're seeing Homeland Security agents defend themselves, identifying immediate threats, or waiting for the situation to get so bad and utilizing tear gas or other tactics to try and defuse the situation. And here's the chief himself explaining what exactly happened.
It's not our operations. Our operations are all legal, ethical, and moral. We'll be about 1,600 apprehensions today. Amongst those 1,600, terrorists, child rapists, gang members, aggravated felons, a whole litany of really bad people walking those streets in broad daylight with impunity. So the operations are definitely sound. We've been doing this about 101 years now, Allie. We're legal, ethical, and professional for 101 years now.
Okay, this is a very crucial point. It's not like Border Patrol is hiding what their SOPs are, standard operating procedures. Everyone can look up, the people who need to know, when tear gas needs to be used. That's what this is all about. And a federal judge is trying to figure out, am I just going to eliminate that from this particular jurisdiction or operation? That would have massive implications. So the point that Chief Bovino is making is that, hey, we've been around forever. It's not like we're just making things up and showing up trying to destroy your city. We're doing what lawmakers know we do. We show up and we do Border Patrol things.
So the judge called him back in after there was video revealing that he threw a canister of tear gas into a crowd of protesters. Other rulings by the judge today as the two faced off. Bovino must appear in her courtroom daily until a preliminary hearing next week, November 5th. And he also must wear a body camera and get trained on how to use it by Friday.
Okay, so this part to me was rather interesting. Must wear body camera and be trained to use one. One thing I do want to say is this. Again, Chief Bovino is totally okay with the idea of body cam footage, but I also want to point out, you saw how much video coverage there was. Maybe Chief Bovino didn't see the need to wear one, but I do think everyone should just be wearing a body camera, and I think the majority of Americans would agree. It protects everyone, and we also get to see the evidence that Homeland Security just posts publicly.
Beginning of September. I think one of the biggest bombshells from me and from my perspective was when they were discussing body-worn cameras. As we know, this TRO requires the 200 some odd agents that are here in Chicago to actually wear those cameras on their chest and to actually be using them, activating them when use of force occurs, to which the commander actually admitted to the judge that not only does he not have a camera himself, but he's also never even on the use of using them. That's something that the commander said that he would have done by Friday. Really, the judge here demanded.
And again, he has no problem. He's not lying. He's like, yeah, I don't use it, but I will use it, and I'll learn how to use it.
Demanding accountability when it comes to Operation Midway Blitz from the top down. So, number one, as you mentioned, she's going to require Commander Bovino to appear in court every single day for the foreseeable future at 6 p.m., essentially to give a rundown of how the day went and whether or not any of his agents had to actually use force. And then on top of that, the judge is also asking for a very detailed and comprehensive list of reports beginning in September 2nd, when Operation Midway Blitz began, that shares every single moment that use of force was used.
I mean, you can use my YouTube videos. We covered a ton of different instances and situations where agents are quite literally surrounded. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I do think it's going to be rather interesting when Chief Bovino gives out these detailed different times where Border Patrol had to use force to back people away. It'll be rather interesting from a political standpoint and from a narrative standpoint if we get to see every single operation where protesters are surrounding Border Patrol. This could completely backfire to the prosecution, who's trying to get Chief Bovino to not use tear gas anymore. I'm really interested to see how that plays out. Make sure to please subscribe to my channel because I will definitely keep you up to date with that. And again, the intent behind this video is to give a fair critique and hopefully come together and have a peaceful dialogue. Thank you guys so much for everything. Make sure we please pray for peace. I'm always looking for truth, always trying to spread it out to you guys. Thank you guys so much. God bless, and we'll see you all later.